Welcome to the Eastern Idaho Weather Impact Planning Briefing for Friday, February 14th, and happy Valentine's Day. We'll take a look at our impact summary for the next several days. We do have a series of systems bringing periods of snow and wind lasting through the weekend. With the first system moving through today, we do have a low confidence potential for freezing precipitation, mainly freezing drizzle in the northern Snake Plain. And Sunday is still looking to be the most impactful day, mainly for higher elevation areas. Taking a look at the satellite loop across the western United States, we draw your attention to this system here that is beginning to shift through eastern Idaho today. As that one moves through, it'll bring some snow to the region, along with some wind gusts this afternoon. But as we look further to the west with this broad area of image enhancement out here, this will be the system that we will be looking at more carefully coming in Saturday night through Sunday. We'll take a look at the impact overview. As you can see, we do have periods of snowfall for just about every day into the beginning of the work week. The first system moving through today is expected to bring some slight, very minimal impacts, mainly to the higher elevations with some snow. Also in the lower elevations, we are expecting some light snow, mainly north of Pocatello, including some freezing drizzle in the US 20 corridor from about Idaho Falls to St. Anthony and then north along Interstate 15 through the morning into the early afternoon. We are expecting light snow with this initial band as it moves through the Magic Valley, but temperatures do warm up above freezing, so depending on timing of that band, some of that may shift over to rain later today. As we move into the second system arriving through the day on Saturday, we see that continued light impact of snow, mainly the higher elevation areas, and afternoon snow beginning to show up in most of the Snake River Plain. Saturday night, continuing through Sunday night, we are looking at moderate impacts in many areas with some potential for moderate to heavy snow, mainly in the eastern highlands, from Island Park down to the Big Hole Mountains, including Pine Creek Pass. And winds are picking up as well, so we're seeing some blowing and drifting potential in that area as well. In the Snake Plain, we are expecting a mix of snow and rain, and the stronger winds shifting into the region during the afternoon, which will provide some areas of blowing and drifting. However, we are expecting some warmer temperatures, so depending on timing with the temperatures and with the cold front on Sunday and the increase in winds, and we'll get into the snow accumulations here shortly, some of this impact may be mitigated by the timing being different for each of those events. And in the Sawtooth area, we're also seeing that potential for moderate to heavy snow as well. That system begins to abate overnight Sunday night, and we still see some lingering light snows, mainly along the eastern highlands and in portions of the central mountains, but we really start seeing a decrease in precipitation across the area. There is another system that drives through the region on Tuesday, but there's not a whole lot of moisture with it, so generally we're seeing a slight chance or low chances of snow with very little impact expected across the area. Now let's get into some of the details. Here's the snowfall amount expected through the day today with that first system coming through. And again, we're looking at the potential for freezing precipitation, mainly in this US 20 corridor, Idaho Falls north to about St. Anthony, and then Interstate 15 north of Idaho Falls to about Hamer or DuBois. You can see our best chance for snowfall is going to be in the Stanley area, and then the higher elevations from Island Park down to just northeast of Stowe Springs, mainly along the Wyoming border here. Wind gusts this afternoon as that frontal system pushes through are expected to increase. So we're looking at gusts approaching 40 miles per hour in portions of the Snake Plain. And again, higher gusts across the higher elevations. And if you're planning to be out in the backcountry, you'll want to be on the lookout for blowing snow. With the system coming through on Saturday, again, we see a recurrence of snow over the Sawtooth area, and again from Island Park south through Soda Springs to the Bear River Range. And again, these are the areas with the highest snowfall amounts, and much of the Snake River Plain and the interstate corridors not seeing much accumulation with either the system today or Saturday. However, Shifting into Saturday night through Sunday night, you can see with this third system shifting through, we have a drastic increase in moisture. And these snowfall totals are a little bit less than we had previously forecast. The models have trended slightly drier with the system, and you can see in this Interstate 84 and 86 corridor between Twin Falls and Pocatello, we're seeing some impact of those warmer temperatures and maybe a little bit of southerly downslope winds helping to keep this area snowfall free for this event on Sunday. But let's look at the Sawtooth Recreation Area, generally north of Ketchum through Stanley, and then Island Park south all the way to the Utah border, including the Bear River Range. And this is where we are currently expecting the highest snowfall amounts. Now, if we consider the 48-hour total from approximately midday Saturday through midday Monday, these amounts do get a little bit higher. You're looking at about 8 to 12 or 8 to 14 inches for the Stanley area, same for Island Park and Driggs. But some of these higher elevations, including headed over Banner Summit, headed over Pine Creek Pass, and over Teton Pass, those are the areas we are expecting to see accumulations possibly reach over a foot. So we're a little concerned about that, and you'll want to pay attention to the forecast throughout the day today for potential updates and possible inclusion in a winter storm watch. Again, that is not in effect at this time, but it is definitely a discussion that we've been having internally and with our neighboring Weather Service forecast offices. Along with that frontal system coming through on Sunday, we're seeing an additional increase in wind, so it continues to be breezy to windy through the Snake River Plain, with those gusts approaching 35 to 40 miles per hour again. But again, with the snowfall with this event mainly concentrated to the north, we might not be as concerned about blowing and drifting snow throughout the Snake Plain. But this area here across the eastern highlands, generally north of Soda Springs through the Blackfoot Reservoir area and up towards Swan Valley, some of those areas might be a concern for some blowing and drifting impacts, and including headed over Pine Creek Pass. So we'll revisit our summary. Again, we do have a series of systems with periods of snow and wind through the weekend. The Sunday still is the most impactful day, mainly for the higher elevations, and you want to stay tuned to the forecast for updates through the day today and into tonight. We do have a low confidence potential for freezing precipitation in the northern Snake Plain today, generally in the US 20 and Interstate 15 corridor, north and east of Idaho Falls, but amounts there should be light. That will conclude the briefing for today. If you have questions, please feel free to contact us via the means that you see on the screen, and we will see you tomorrow.